Hi team, welcome to my session on Coffee with Prabh, and today we're going to discuss about scenario-based questions for CCSP and CISSP exam practice. These questions are my self-made questions, and this will basically help you to improve your reading habits. It basically help you to give you understanding about how to read paragraph or scenario-based questions, and I'm sure it can be a good addition in your exam preparation, especially for CCSP and CISSP, because in order to handle the one-liner questions, it is an easy task. But handling the paragraph-based questions, scenario-based questions require a good understanding. And that is the reason I come up with this coffee shots. And in this, we're going to discuss some scenario questions which give you the understanding of the functions. I really put my lot of efforts for building this content. So if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to make sure you should not miss the future videos on a similar topic and security governance. So for more information, let's start with the first part. Thank you. So we got the first coffee shot. Now this is the psychology. When we saw a paragraph question in the real exam or when you're practicing, you get panic. Oh, so much to read. Your brain basically works in two systems, system 1 and system 2. System 1 is basically mean you think fast, but your 99% decisions are wrong. And system 2 thinks slow, but your 99% decisions are wrong, right? Sorry. So you have to think from a system 2 point of view. Think slow, don't be panic. You know your concept. You just need to focus on some key pointers. Trust me, in your CISSP and CCSP exam, if you're getting more paragraph questions, scenario-based questions, it means you have a more opportunity, more, you can say more requirement to clear the exam. So if you get a scenario questions, make sure read some of the key pointers and always use mouse while pointing out the word by word. How? Let me show you. Now in this question, they're saying you are the CISO of a large or multinational organization. So I'm using a mouse here. So by this way, I can able to focus on word by word basis. The company recently experienced a data breach that result in an exposure of sensitive customer information, including a PII. The breach occurred due to the vulnerability in the legacy customer portal application that was not properly patched. So if we don't give attention, we might this word called not. So as a result, the customer faced potential legal reputation consequences. The executive management team has asked you to provide recommendations to prevent similar incident in the future. Based on the scenario, what step would you recommend to prevent similar incident in the future? Now, first time when I read the question, I got the understanding about the issue that, okay, they found one vulnerability and they have not patched properly. And the question also talking about the past tense. So let me reread the keywords. Breach occurred due to the vulnerability in the legacy customer portal application that was not properly patched. And they're looking for the recommendation to prevent the similar incident. So it means they don't want the similar incident to be occur again. It means they should patch that. So question talking about something related to patch and penetration testing or vulnerability assessment. So option A is patch management. Definitely, because patch management also include the vulnerability management process. Because whenever we're downloading any patch, we first assess the system, check for the gaps with the help of vulnerability assessment, and then we deploy the patches on a timely manner and we document also. But B, only and only talking about the vulnerability management. Vulnerability management is a systematic way of identifying the vulnerability. But to rectify the vulnerability, patch the vulnerability, we need a patch management system. Secure development lifecycle will be applicable only in the case when we're dealing with the application development, and incident management plan will be only applicable in the case of when we're dealing with any kind of a incident. But the question talking about, they want to prevent the similar incident. What is the incident? That breach was occur in a legacy, it was not properly patched. So B is basically part of the A. So answer is basically A. So when I saw the question, I got panic and I was not able to give focus to that. But when I read question word by word and try to understand slowly, then I can able to relate it better. So that is why the moral of the story is that whenever you receive a paragraph based question, do not panic. Just have a deep breath, read question by word. using a mouse by focusing on the keywords. Okay, and then reread the question again with those keywords and then answer. It is enough to answer in a 40 seconds. Let's move to the next question. Thank you. So let's start with the next coffee shot. An organization in a process of implementing a new access control system to enhance security. The system will provide authentication, authorization, and accounting capability for all users accessing the critical system. So critical system is a keyword. As a part of implementation, organization is considering present tense various authentication mechanisms. So question focus on authentication mechanism. So security team has narrowed down the options to 3 choice: password based, 2-factor, and biometric. They need to choose the most appropriate authentication mechanism based on the organization requirement and risk tolerance. So risk tolerance and organization requirement. Which of the following authentication mechanism most suitable choice for organization considering the requirement and the risk tolerance? Now these are 3 keywords are there. One is 2-factor, one is narrow down the option, one is considering various authentication scheme. They're looking for the critical system and resource. Okay, so they're looking for the various authentication option. Along with that, they're also looking for the most suitable choice considering the requirement and risk tolerance between level of risk. So if I just go by password based, it can be compromise. So that is a 1 factor. So A removed. Just only going by the biometric, everywhere you configure, you need to have a functionality issue. Certificate based again is a 1 aspect only, but we can have a combination of password with biometric. We can have a combination of certificate with password. So the closest answer to manage the risk is the 2-factor authentication because of 2 reasons. One, if one control is failed, we have another control to protect. And by this way, we can able to manage the current risk of an organization. That is why we went with the answer B. Let's move to the next question. Thank you. So next coffee shot. Again, you got panic. Oh, so much to read. Let's enjoy. A company has decided to adopt the cloud-based infrastructure to support its business operations. So question talking about cloud to support the business. As a security manager, you are responsible for ensuring a security of the company data and application. So they want to secure the data. One of the key concern is the data confidentiality. So question talking about data confidentiality, especially when data is stored and processed by a third-party cloud provider. It means the user want to store data in a cloud and they're focusing on the data confidentiality. Okay, to mitigate this risk, you are evaluating an encryption option. So 2 main encryption choice being considered: symmetric and asymmetric. Which of the following encryption option would be most suitable for mitigating the data confidentiality in the cloud environment? 3 keywords are there. One of the key concerns data confidentiality, and data is stored and processed by third party, because as a customer, when you're uploading a data in the cloud, okay, so how you secure the data? Because there is a possibility employer of the cloud can able to access my data. So masking will not be the solution. Only just relying on the symmetric encryption will not be the solution, because symmetric is used to encrypt the data. But what about we sending a data over the network? How are we going to exchange the session key? So in this scenario, the company is concerned about data confidentiality in the cloud environment. So the most suitable approach for mitigating a risk of data confidentiality is to use both symmetric and asymmetric, because symmetric encryption provides faster processing and it is used for the large scale data storage. However, to require to pre-establish the shared secret key, okay, we need a asymmetric encryption because it is basically help us with the key exchange. And today that is what we use, which is called hybrid. So answer is basically C for Charlie, both. Okay. So C is basically correct answer because it necessarily define the need of the combination of encryption method to provide the comprehensive data protection. So let's move to the next coffee shot. Thank you. Okay. So company is in a process of developing a new web application that will handle sensitive customer information. Company dealing with the sensitive information. The development team has completed the coding phase. Coding is done and preparing for the application deployment. So coding is completed and application need to be deployed. As a security professional, your task with reviewing the application security control. Okay, so applications developed, we need to look for the controls. One of the key concern, ensure the application resilience against the common web application attacks such as SQL injection and cross-site scripting. You need to recommend the most appropriate security control to mitigate this risk, and which of the following security control would be most suitable for mitigate the risk of SQL injection and cross-site scripting. Now, if you go by a web application firewall, or we look, okay, web application firewall, suppose this is my web server we have, and I can install the web application firewall, but still the attacker can, so as a user, when I connect with the web server, and web server is basically provide me login page, in that I can basically add some invalid values, and it is able to pass by the web application firewall. Okay, so are a valid security control, but they do not specifically address the risk of the SQL injection and cross-site scripting. Now, IDS is basically more from monitoring on the layer 3 and layer 4, but we're talking about the content on the application level. So these two are removed. Network segmentation is only used from a network lateral movement point of view. So only option left is input validation and output encoding, because input validation and output encoding is basically used to prevent the execution of a malicious code and injection of the unauthorized SQL statement. And in this scenario, companies developing a web application and want to ensure the resilience against the SQL injection and cross-site scripting. So the most suitable security control to mitigate the risk is the input validation and output encoding. Is it clear? Input validation actually ensure the user input are checked for expected format and content by preventing the executions of malicious code or unauthorized SQL statement, and output encoding ensure that any user unsupplied data display on web page is properly encoded and preventing the XSS attack. So that is why the answer is basically C for Charlie. Okay, let's move to the next coffee shot. Thank you. One more important thing I need to define here, what is input validation, because see, let's take an example. We have a user here. Okay, so user is basically, suppose this is my Reddit forum. He know very well Reddit is basically the known platform. So what he going to do, he publish the script there. Even we have an application firewall, for him it's a data only, right? But he discovered the vulnerability in the Reddit, suppose it's not actually, but just an example, that input validation is possible. Lack of input validation is there. So I can able to post any kind of a script on a Reddit. Now this is the user one. He basically visit the page, and page was display on his browser. So when he saw the script, it can showing that, okay, click on the script, download the link and all that. So when I click, I actually send the request to Reddit to open the script for me. Because Reddit is vulnerable for the input validation, lack of input validation, he process the script back on a system user one. And that is how the script was executed on a user one system. So next time I will think twice before visiting the Reddit website. So if you're having a proper input validation on the Reddit forums, input pages, okay, you can able to prevent these attacks. Web application firewall is external to the web server, so it can only protect from external attacks. But if someone is happening on the input pages and all that, that can be only validated through the input validation and output encoding. Okay, that's why the answer is C for Charlie. So let's move to the next coffee shot. Thank you. In this question, typically you need to apply think like a manager principle. A multinational e-commerce company operate in EU and process the personal data of EU citizen or resident. The company is committed to comply with the GDPR and has implemented various measures to protect the personal data. However, recently the company experienced data breach. It means past tense, where the hacker gained unauthorized access to the customer record containing a sensitive personal information. The company promptly notified that affected individuals and supervisory authority about the breach. So now the company management wants to ensure they take appropriate action to prevent future breaches and maintain compliance with GDPR. Which of the following action would be the most appropriate for the company to take in response to the data breach while ensuring compliance with the GDPR? Oh my God, so much to cover. So summary is that when I read slow, I able to understand things. They already face a breach and they want to ensure similar activity should not be happen again. So they asking me as a consultant, what should I do? Option A, conduct a thorough investigation to determine the cause and extent of the breach and implement the necessary security improvement, update the incident response plan and accordingly. Makes sense. Before implementing anything, we do gap assessment. Always remember, as a consultant, if you find any breach, the first thing we have to assess the effectiveness of the breach. Makes sense. Second is cease all the data processing activity to minimize the risk of future breach until company can guarantee full compliance with GDPR. That is not possible. B is not possible because it impacts the loss. Why we need to shut down everything? C say notify all customer about the breach regardless of severity to ensure transparency and build trust. That is already there. Question talking about how to prevent that. And D, pay the required fines and penalty to the supervisory authority and affected individual to demonstrate the accountability and avoid the legal repercussion. Arey, we are paying that. My question is basically how to avoid in the future. So only close option here is, the answer is A. First do the investigation, identify gap, necessary address the gap, update the program, and then if tomorrow happen again, we can go for BCD. That is the only thing I can do as a consultant because my role is a consultant, not a manager, not a senior manager. Okay, that's why the answer is A for alpha. Let's move to the next question. Thank you. Okay, very good question. Multinational company is considering the adoption of BYOD policy to allow employee to use a personal device for the work related task. Here the scope is BYOD. They want to adopt for their personal device. That is the scope. The organization see potential benefit in terms of increased employee productivity and flexibility. Definitely they can bring their laptops and use that for the mail surfing and all that. However, the security team has raised concern about the potential risk associated with BYOD, including a data leakage, malware infections, unauthorized access to corporate resource. Which of the following security control would be the most effective in mitigating a risk associated with the BYOD policy? See, BYOD is a policy. We're talking about the concern about data leakage, malware infection, unauthorized access for BYOD. So what is the countermeasure? See, if you go by the MDM, that is the best solution because we have a Microsoft Intune and all that. So we have a centralized MDM server and we have agents, we have a systems, we have mobile devices in which I will install the agents, and through that I can remotely manage. That is the one thing we can do. NAC is basically more from a benchmark assessment. So make sure any random device connecting with the enterprise, NAC will basically evaluate and validate the things before it give access to the network. But the question is talking about here data leakage, malware infection, unauthorized access. So NAC is more like a preventative from external point of view. DLP is monitoring the traffic from internal to external. Okay, so somehow DLP feature is there in MDM. VPN is used to connect the enterprise for sharing a data. So only close option look like a MDM, mobile device management. Okay, don't do analysis and paralysis. Whatever the question talking about, think like a consultant. You need to know the concept, and according to concept only you need to answer. Because if you go in detail, DLP also have a feature. So this is where you think like a technical. Okay, DLP has a feature in MDM, and as a holistic, as a consultant, I need to give a recommendation which can be cost justified. And second is that it should meet entire requirement of the business because they want to protect against data leakage, malware infection, and unauthorized access. And MDM agent offer that. That's why the answer is A for alpha. So this is all from my side. Do let me know, shall I bring more series of coffee shots on scenario based questions? And I'm sure it improve your reading habits and all that. This is all from my side. Do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to make sure you should not miss the future videos on a similar topic. For time being, good day. Bye.